everybody, it's Misha Fayant, your Phoenix midwife helping birth transformations. I'm a speaker, coach, author, healer, and I take joy in helping others find their brilliance. Today, what I was thinking about is how so many people have come into my life and have taught me, have left me nuggets, have given me advice, information, wisdom that at the time maybe I couldn't accept it, didn't want to accept it, didn't understand it, and yet at some point that wisdom started to sink in and become real and understandable and usable, and it is what my whole life is based on, is all of this knowledge from random people, from family, from friends, and from mentors. So throughout our lives there are people who give us information, and it's okay if you don't understand it at the point of time that you receive it. The deal is at some point that information is going to resurface. That information in its time, in its right time, is going to come up for you and be usable for you if you're aware, if you're open to receiving the message that it has for you. Don't worry about the things that people say to you in the moment. Take it in. Even if you don't understand it right now, you may one day go, that's what they were talking about. And that's happened to me so many times in my life, I can't even begin to explain. So one of the things I was thinking about this morning is when I was 15, a man came into my life. He was probably 10 or 12 years older than me. Just a friend, just kind of somebody that I knew. Didn't understand him totally, but he had this calm and this peace about him and this understanding about my frantic, crazy little self. I've always had this, the label is ADD, but I've had this capacity for my mind to think of 1,000 things at once, it seems like. And so I'm always running and planning and seeing way into the future and figuring out how I'm going to do this or that, or what this means, what that means, where I'm going to go in life. And so it was like maybe like the tortoise and the hare. But he started to drop some wisdom on me, and he was one of the first people that I can remember that really talked to me about universal knowledge, about peace and love within us, and the things that I now just take for granted. At that point in time, when he started talking to me about those things, I didn't want to hear them. I was so ingrained in my life in church and in the things that I was being taught. Gosh, it's been almost 40 years ago, whole different world, but I didn't want to hear it. I didn't understand the word back then of blasphemy, but it's the best word that I can come up with to encompass my feelings towards what he had to say to me at that point in time. And he tried to tell me about how there would be a point in time where I would find a calmness, where everything that we're all learning spiritually really comes together. The premise of any real religion, world religion that we know, all is based in some truth. And our responsibility is to find our truth in those teachings. But all of the stuff that he told me and poured into me that I just was trying to block out and not hear and didn't want to know, and thought, man, this guy's crazy. And I like him, but he's just kind of out there, and wow, how could he dare say some of the things that he's saying to me? Fast forward 12 or 13 years, when I'm on my spiritual breakthrough journey, as my life is imploding, as things are happening, memories are coming back that I hadn't been able to accept before. Now I'm starting to understand the things that he said. The light bulb is going on, and I have that aha moment of, I get it, or I'm starting to get it. And wow, he told me this, and another person told me that, and my dad said this, and a friend from years ago that I haven't seen told me another thing, or an adult came into my life of a friend and said something to me, and I was able to piece those things together, stitch them together into moving forward, into growth in my spiritual journey. So when people are dropping nuggets for you, they're there for a reason. And a lot of times you will recognize or have that feeling. It may be later today. It may be tomorrow, or a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. It could be 10 years from now, or 20, 30 years from now that it really makes sense. But be open to accepting that knowledge that's being poured into you, or it's actually a remembering of things that you already know. Because in reality, on our core, our universal self, we know these things as truth. It's just that someone is there to give us the nudge, to remind us, to help us remember the truth of who we are, where we're going, and what we can be. So think about it. And as those things come forward for you, just be thankful. Give thanks for those nudges, those messages that have been given to you throughout your lifetime, and be blessed by them. Have a great day.